you watched a child run with their arms stretched out? Not in a play, but in a complete wholehearted belief that they were meant to leave the ground. There's something archingly beautiful about it. A small body, a loud heartbeat, and a faith so pure, it almost feels sacred. In that moment, they're not pretending. They're remembering a version of themselves the world hasn't seen yet. A version that still believes that the sky has a room for them. No one teaches children this. No one tells them, here's how you imitate flight. And yet they run with wings made of nothing but imagination and courage, as though they were meant to fly. Because in a way they were. We all were. We arrive in this world with wings. Wings made of wildness, made of imagination, made of quite certainty that life is something to rise towards. But growing up is slow, gentle erosion. The world doesn't rip our wings off. It hands us with tiny silent scissors. Be realistic. Lower your expectations. Don't dream too loud. Stay in your lane. And with every warning, every careful piece of advice that is meant to protect us, we start cutting away the very thing that made us infinite. Somewhere between childhood and now, the sky stops feeling like home. It starts feeling like a place we no longer deserve to reach. So before I say anything, let me ask you this question. Not casually but painfully. When did you stop believing that the sky has a room for you? At what moment did caution replace curiosity? When did ceiling become more familiar than horizons? I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Greek mythology, but my favorite myth is the story of Icarus. Icarus was the son of Daedalus, a brilliant inventor. The two were imprisoned in an island, and to escape their captivity, Daedalus crafted wings made of feather and wax. And before they took off, he warned his son, don't fly too high or the sun will melt your wax. Don't fly too low or the sea will swallow you. Stay in the middle, stay safe. But once Icarus took flight, he flew high, he flew right at the sun. Because he had never felt that alive, right? His wings were stretched wide, world opened beneath him. Something changed. He didn't want to stay in the middle. He wanted to know what it meant to fly. So he soared higher and higher, straight towards the sun. And yes, the wax melted. The feathers came apart. And here's what they don't tell you. Icarus didn't scream. He didn't regret. But he laughed. He laughed as he fell, for he knew that to fall is once to have soared. And there's a kind of a bitter triumph in crashing when you're supposed to be soaring. Something victorious in reaching past the limits, even if it costs you something extraordinary. But in that moment, Icarus had lived fully. He didn't fly high out of arrogance, he flew high because he had never felt that arrive. And maybe the real message of this story is not that you should not fly too high. Maybe it's this. If you live your whole life in the middle, you might never discover the height you are born for. And I love this story because the story to me is not a story of failure but one of living. And I think a lot of us have spent our times in school exactly what Daedalus warned us. Staying in middle, playing it safe, following the rules. But the future belongs to those who are willing to shape it. And yes, you may find uncertainty, failure and doubt, but you'll also experience strength, clarity and resilience. Last year, my trip to Grindelwald changed my perspective on playing it safe. To transcend down the mountains, we rented a trotty bike. The bike is used to ride down dirt paths, and now while everybody were taking their small steps and were getting acquired with the bike, I went all ahead. And I was relatively very distant from them. As time passed through, I experienced the most beautiful sight of my life. Cows with their bells ringing, wooden cottages scattered all across the green fields, and cool mountain wind sweeping across me. As I went ahead, I was in the middle of nowhere, no people around me. As I accelerated faster, my wheel struck a rock and I trembled down. My knees and my elbows were hurt and bruised, and there were scratches all across my face, and my nose was bleeding. With no help around, I had no choice but to continue. So I started my journey and I traveled kilometers ahead with blood dripping on the pavement. A few people who I saw were unwilling of helping me, and eventually I entered the city area and I found help, and they helped me even contact my family. So if I had stayed within the limits that day, I would never have learned what that experience taught me. It reveals the truth about life. Not everyone will help you. There will be moments when you must walk alone, hurt and bruising, and still keep going. Some paths demand self-reliance. I'd lost a lot of blood that day, and my head felt unbearably heavy. I still remember my head was heavy, but there was not a single tear in my eye because I knew there was nobody around. And I'm the only person who could help myself. I had myself that day, and somehow that was enough. But here's a twist. I'm not telling you to fly towards the sun. I'm here to tell you something far more radical. It's better to fall from the sky once than to never leave the ground. Falling is not the opposite of flying. Falling is a part of flying. Falling is feedback. Falling is direction. Falling is proof that you had the courage to fly at the first place. And unlike Icarus, our wings can be rebuilt. And they can be stronger, smarter, wiser. Every fall gives us new feathers, revised ones. So maybe the real tragedy is not the boy who flew too high. Maybe it's the people who never took off at the first place. Think about it. A student is told not to choose a subject because it's not practical. An artist is told that their passion is too unstable. A writer is told that their voice is too emotional, too inconvenient for the world. A young person with a wild dream to build a company, chase a sport, study something unconventional is met with the same question every time. But what if it doesn't work out? And almost never do we ask this question, but what if it does? So today I invite you to reconsider the way you see ambition, risk and passion and desire. Consider that the world must have misinterpreted the myth. Consider that maybe life is not about maintaining the perfect altitude, but discovering the new heights you were born for. Consider that your ambitions are not flaws, what are pointing towards you, but signals and invitations pointing towards the edges of your own potential. And if there's anything that I hope you take from today, from my speech or from Icarus, is this. Don't live life trying to avoid the fall. And remember Icarus, not as a warning, but as a kid who looked up at the sun and said, what if? The one who didn't settle for just escaping, who wanted to feel everything. So when you step into the real world, I hope you don't hold back. I hope you reach for the sun, just like Icarus. Fly too high, love too much, care too deeply, and laugh too loudly. And laugh, and if you fall, laugh as you fall, because that's how you know you were really flying. The middle may keep you safe, but the sky keeps you alive. Thank you.